Saturday, January 17th. I had to think. So, had my week of crazy appointments. Um, went on Thursday for my radiation setup. That became a bust. They started to do the process and they thought there was something wrong with my lung, which then they decided to send me to the ER. They needed to have me checked out. Asked me if I had shortness of breath, if I had chills, a fever. Mind you, they already took my temperature and didn't have a fever at the time, so I was fine. No shortness of breath. Sounded normal, so I had no issues, but still, they requested that I go to the ER. So I spent the next, 2.5 hours? No, about 3 hours, because I got out of there a little after 4. And but when I stopped the radiation, it was about 1:30, so almost 3 hours. But yeah, I got sent to the ER. They did an X-ray, chest X-ray, looked fine. They did 4 vials of blood work, came back phenomenal. White blood cell count was, perfect. Red blood cell was perfect. My platelet perfect. Everything. So my blood work was great. Nothing wrong there. Then they finally sent me for a CAT scan, which was stat. So finally got that done. That comes back. Nothing wrong with the lung. So the attending physician comes in because I had just gone through the portal and I was looking at the results of the CAT scan. Attending physician comes in and says, "We don't see anything wrong with your lung, but what we do see is your stomach's a little wonky." And I said to her, "Well, I had, a sophectomy, so it's been moved up, and yeah, it's going to be in a different position and stuff." And she said, "Well, what they see is a hiatal hernia." And I said, "Well, as far as I know, I've had that since my diverticulitis." And I said, "I've seen that on the CAT scan all the way back then, and I've known it's been there, and it shows up on the scans every time I get a scan. It's there." And she's like, "Okay, so you read your scans?" I said, "Yeah, I always look at that stuff." She's like, "That's good." But basically, that's what they're seeing. That's the only thing that, it's a little, the position where my stomach is different and stuff. It's because of the surgery and whatnot. And there's the hiatal hernia that's there. So the thought is the doctor that was looking at the scans from radiation, which is a whole different doctor, doesn't know my case or anything, might have panicked a little bit, thinking there was something wrong and just wanted to be safe and have me checked out. So now that we know everything's good and I'm okay, now I have to go back and get pre-tested again to get set up for radiation therapy. What a goings on. But I go Monday for that. Now the nice thing is, being set up in the CAT scan machine, my form or body, whatever, is already been done. So they save that process. So this time around should be a little bit easier and I don't have to go through that phase. So it should be, a little bit faster. I don't know. But from that point, Friday, yesterday, I had my other oncology appointment with Dr. Scaraya. And that's basically the remainder of the treatment plan moving forward. So we had our discussion, and again, they really would like to do the chemo and the immuno, so they want to do both. But I explained to them that my fingers and my feet have gotten worse versus getting better. Now I know in time with the neuropathy, it should eventually get better, but I think it's just the road to recovery for that is just going to be a very, very, very long recovery road. it's not as simple as the rest of me. So even though I'm healing, it's just not going to heal fast, or like, the way you would normally think a bruise, it'll heal up quick. Well, this doesn't work like that. It's a lot, different. It really will take a lot of time. And for some odd reason, I didn't move forward with the neuropathy. I moved backwards. You do have that. That is part of it, can happen that way. But I addressed it with the doctor, and I addressed my concerns that I really don't want to go through chemo because I really don't want to get this. I don't want this to get worse than what it already is. I said, when I walk, it feels like I'm walking on like bubbles or balloons. I mean, it's hard. It makes you walk funny because of the way your feet feel. Like, it's no longer my toes anymore. It's my entire foot. Like, that's how bad it has gotten. Even though my foot looks normal, you would never know there's anything wrong with it. But the feeling of it is like atrocious. And my fingertips actually got a little worse, where like if I take my fingernail and just do this, it's like a pinprick. That's what it feels like. So it hurts a little bit. And I said, to do anything, it hurts, my fingertips to like try and open things. So it's at the point where I need, Rich to do everything for me, because like it hurts. I can't use my hands the way I normally could. So unless something's like just lightly put on, I can't open shit. It's horrible. So he does have alternatives. The particular drug that causes neuropathy, they can remove that, and I would get one of the other chemo drugs, or depending on how the radiation goes and how I feel by the time I start the other treatment, I can just opt out of all of chemo and just go with straight immuno. So it really depends on how I feel and what I want to do. So I have options, I was really surprised. I was very happy. So I'm probably going to still stick with just doing straight immuno at this point, because I really don't. I know I can remove this particular drug that causes this, but I don't know if I really want to go with any of the chemo stuff. I think having my immune system, well, then again, I'm going through radiation, so I don't know where my immune system's going to be by the time that's done. And that is another factor that, we need to sort of weigh in on and see how I do with the radiation, because there are some side effects with that as well. And, he did say about that being addressed and how I feel after those treatments. And that's anywhere from 5 to 8 treatments from what Dr. Danzig said. So next week isn't really, excuse me, a busy week. I only have 2 appointments. Cardiologist I have, and the radiation. So that's good. And then it's just cat stuff that I have to deal with. So we're looking to put one of the cats down. She's got cancer, so she's in bad shape. I mean, we have her going and she eats a little bit, but it's to the point where she really doesn't want to eat. She does drink some water and stuff, but it's just getting worse. So we pretty much think it's time. So we'll be down to 5 cats. My baby Tally, who's my most precious besides Loki, she's starting to throw up a little bit more and more. So there's something up with her. Not sure exactly what it is, but we're going to address it. So she's scheduled to go in. I might look about changing her appointment to next week. See if I can get her in a little bit earlier. It's just on a day that there's a lot of stuff going on. So maybe if there's a later appointment, I can see. I don't know. Let's see what I can I can do. It's just I know there's a lot of stuff going on the 22nd, so. But I need to get her in, and I just don't know if I want to wait as long as what the original appointment's been scheduled for, so. But other than that, healing's going pretty good. I mean, I'm feeling a little bit better as, like my side where the drainage tube is getting better. I mean, I can move around more and stuff. And I can sleep on my left side, which I love. They don't want you sleeping on the right side because that shifts everything. So because everything's more on the left, that's the way they want you to, if you need to sleep on your side, sleep on the left. So that's fine. But it does get boring after a while. So, but at least I get to be able to roll onto my side for the most part. I mean, I don't mind that so much. Let's see, what else? My legs do get tired, so there's that. And I do, occasionally need the nap here and there. Like, I am a little bit, worn out at times and stuff. So, co-worker Aaron brought me a cute little Christmas gift. This guy. Really adorable. Love it. So I have it up here with me. And it's really cute. So I thank you very much for that. It was very adorable. So can use it as like a side pillow, like for comfort. It's really cute. But beyond that, for the most part, things are, besides the ER visit. And thank God I wasn't admitted for anything because all things checked out. But beyond that, everything's, smooth sailing still. Oh, my tube feeds are down to 10 hours at the moment. And I'm on a protein drink when I'm off the tube feed. So moving forward with that as well, which is good. I'm happy. So, and eating, different foods and stuff like that. So it's a slow process, nothing to rush, especially with the foods, because you got to be careful. My stomach doesn't always like some of the choices that I make, so I do have to watch. But beyond that, I'll check in again. Peace, so mo to be.